Replacing a catalytic converter is one of the most expensive surprises a car owner can face. For most vehicles, the average replacement cost lands somewhere between $2,100 and $2,500, including labor. On trucks and luxury SUVs, that number can climb past $3,000 without warning. A Ford F-250, a BMW X5, or similar heavy vehicles can easily push the bill even higher. And the worst part is that most people never see it coming. One day the car feels fine, and the next, a warning light appears that quietly threatens your wallet. Most drivers head straight to a repair shop, trusting the diagnosis without question. The mechanic plugs in a scanner, sees a catalyst efficiency code, and delivers the verdict. Your catalytic converter has failed. It cannot be cleaned. It must be replaced. The explanation sounds final, technical, and intimidating. Few people argue. After all, this is emissions equipment, heavily regulated and complex. But here's the part most drivers never hear. In many cases, the converter hasn't failed at all. It's simply clogged with carbon. To understand why this matters, you need to understand what a catalytic converter actually does. Inside that metal shell is a ceramic honeycomb coated with precious metals like platinum, palladium, and rhodium. These metals trigger chemical reactions that convert harmful exhaust gases into less dangerous ones. Carbon monoxide becomes carbon dioxide. Nitrogen oxides break down into nitrogen and oxygen. Unburned hydrocarbons turn into water vapor. When the converter is clean, exhaust flows freely, and these reactions happen efficiently. But over time, things change. Carbon deposits slowly coat the honeycomb. Soot from incomplete combustion, oil residue from worn engines, and unburned fuel build layer upon layer. Those honeycomb passages are extremely narrow, so even small amounts of buildup can restrict flow. Exhaust gases struggle to escape. Pressure builds. The engine starts choking on its own fumes. Acceleration drops. Fuel economy suffers. Eventually, the car's computer notices the problem and triggers a warning light, often the infamous P0420 code. At this point, most people assume the worst. But in Japan, a different approach has been quietly used for years. A respected automotive expert named Tsukasa Azuma, who operates a repair shop in Osaka, has long argued that many converters are not broken, just dirty. Instead of immediately replacing them, he recommends a simple two-step cleaning method that costs less than $25 and requires no tools, no mechanical skills, and no disassembly. The method itself sounds almost too simple. First, you pour a catalytic converter cleaner into your fuel tank when it's about 1/4 full. Second, you drive the car on the highway at sustained higher engine speed for about 20 minutes. That's it. No jacks, no wrenches, no crawling under the car. Pour, drive, and let physics do the rest. But here's the critical detail most people miss. The real power of this method isn't just the cleaner. It's the heat. Catalytic converters are designed to operate at extremely high temperatures. Their optimal range is roughly 800 to over 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. At those temperatures, carbon deposits begin to oxidize and burn away. The problem is that most modern driving never reaches those conditions. Short trips, stop-and-go traffic, long idle times, gentle throttle. The converter stays warm, but not hot enough to clean itself. Over time, carbon accumulates like plaque in an artery. When you drive at sustained engine speeds around 2,500 to 3,000 revolutions per minute, exhaust temperatures rise dramatically. That heat alone can start breaking down deposits. But when you combine it with a chemical cleaner mixed into the fuel, the effect multiplies. The cleaner vaporizes during combustion and travels through the exhaust as an active chemical vapor. It loosens carbon chemically while heat finishes the job. One without the other is far less effective. This concept isn't entirely new. In Europe, mechanics refer to something similar as the Italian tune-up, named after the idea that Italian sports cars naturally run at higher engine speeds and keep their exhaust systems clean. The Japanese method refines this idea by making it deliberate and controlled. It's not about aggressive driving or speeding. It's about sustained load and temperature, applied safely and intentionally. Several products can be used for this process. One of the most well-known is Cataclean, an EPA-approved cleaner designed specifically for emission systems. It creates an acidic vapor during combustion that targets carbon buildup on catalytic converters, oxygen sensors, and EGR valves. Other options include cleaners from Leaky Moly, Rislone, and Chevron Techron, which uses a powerful detergent called PEA. Prices range from under $10 to around $25, making the attempt extremely low risk compared to replacement. Real-world results are surprisingly consistent. Drivers report warning lights turning off within a day or two. Acceleration improves. Fuel economy stabilizes. Some owners have documented passing emissions tests after previously failing. Others have extended the life of failing converters by tens of thousands of miles using periodic treatments. This doesn't mean the method is magic. It means that contamination, not destruction, was the real problem. But honesty matters. This method does not work in every case. If the ceramic honeycomb inside the converter has melted, cleaning will not help. Melting happens when engines misfire badly or run extremely rich, sending raw fuel into the converter where it ignites and overheats the ceramic. Once melted, the honeycomb fuses into a solid mass. No chemical can reverse that. Likewise, if the internal substrate has cracked or broken apart, cleaning will not fix it. There's a simple way to tell. If you hear a rattling noise from under the car, especially during cold starts or when tapping the converter housing, the substrate is likely broken. That rattling means pieces are loose inside, shifting around like a maraca. In those cases, replacement is unavoidable. Cleaning is only effective when the structure is intact and the problem is carbon buildup. Another important limitation is underlying engine health. If your engine burns oil, leaks coolant, or has faulty oxygen sensors, contamination will return quickly. Cleaning the converter without fixing the source is like mopping the floor while the faucet is still running. You might see temporary improvement, but the problem will come back. This method works best on engines that run properly but suffer from gentle driving habits. Ironically, the perfect candidate is the car that's been babied its entire life. Short trips, city driving, never pushed on the highway. That describes millions of vehicles on the road today. These cars accumulate carbon simply because they never reach the conditions needed to burn it off. The Japanese method restores those conditions intentionally and safely. Performing the process is straightforward. Start with about a quarter tank of fuel. Pour in the full bottle of cleaner as directed. Fill the tank with quality gasoline. Find a highway where you can maintain steady speeds. Keep engine speed between 2,500 and 3,000 RPM for at least 20 minutes. You may need to drop a gear to maintain RPM without speeding. Afterward, drive normally and burn through the rest of the tank. Some drivers clear diagnostic codes afterward using an OBD2 scanner and monitor whether they return. For prevention, many Japanese mechanics recommend repeating this every 3 to 4 months, especially for city-driven vehicles. Even a monthly highway run without cleaner helps prevent buildup. Cars were designed to operate, not idle their entire lives. There are a few additional tips. Make sure your engine is in good condition before attempting this. Check spark plugs, air filters, and sensors. Use quality fuel when possible. And don't panic if you notice a stronger exhaust smell during the process. That odor is carbon burning off and exiting the system. It's unpleasant, but it's often a sign the method is working. One final detail many people overlook is the value of what's inside your converter. The precious metals within are genuinely valuable. Rhodium alone has traded at staggering prices. That value is why catalytic converter theft has exploded worldwide. Keeping your existing converter functional as long as possible isn't just about avoiding repair bills. It's about preserving an asset. The bottom line is simple. Before you write a check for $2,000 or $3,000, try a $25 bottle and 20 minutes on the highway. If it works, you save thousands. If it doesn't, you've lost very little. This method won't fix every converter, but for millions of carbon-clogged vehicles, it has quietly saved owners enormous amounts of money. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the ones we never hear about. And sometimes, letting your car breathe the way it was designed to is all it really needs.